Okay, so take 25, I'd say. This is not going to be as steady as one of my posts, but I'll do my best. As a news editor, I usually kind of hide behind the keyboard, but for the sake of this course, I'll come up and use a bit of video. My name is John O'Mahony. I'm 47, married, father of two. I have two boys, Cian and Luke. Cian is 12 and Luke is 10, and they're pretty much the centre of our universe. As I mentioned, I am the news editor with the Examiner. Have been with the paper for 15 years. Have been working in journalism for 25 years. Started through the back door, joined the Kingdom newspaper in Killarney, just kind of waltzed up one day, spoke to the editor, said, look, I'm interested in becoming a journalist. Learned the ropes from the very start, which I think was very beneficial. I worked in a small regional paper called the Kingdom, did a bit of everything. Started off doing news, migrated to sport, covered council meetings, court cases. When you finished up, kind of wandered into the dark room and helped the photographers, cut and pasted copy, cut and pasted photographs, helped with the physical gluing on of pictures and the layout of the newspaper. And then it seems like a million years ago now, but everything was kind of shot on film and sent off to the printers, but it was a very good education. And then obviously being from Cork, born here, raised here, proud of my rebel roots, I joined the Examiner. It's a great job. I like the fact that I come to work on a morning to a blank canvas, and have plenty of editorial freedom to basically do what we do, which I quite enjoy. I think the whole debate about the demise of newspapers, the role of media, has been kind of greatly exaggerated. I certainly think there are challenges, but there are as many opportunities as there are challenges, which is partially one of the main reasons why I'm actually doing this course. It's to explore the whole explosion of digital media, the whole explosion of social media. I'm actually quite interested. Obviously, being in journalism, I was kind of wedded to print for many years, but that's opened up now, and I think there are lots of exciting opportunities to use different tools, video, audio, infographics, social media to help tell a better and more interesting story. One of my biggest bugbears particularly about the news industry is the volume of content we actually use that simply is of no use and is totally impenetrable to anybody under the age of 15. I think one of the projects I wouldn't mind working on down the road is looking at how you can use contemporary news content, I suppose tailored to specific school needs, using the extensive archives that newspaper have and putting together a decent package that can be, I suppose, linked up in some way to the current curriculum that's being taught in schools. There's a huge resource there that goes untapped, but that's probably for another day. Back to myself, in terms of my schooling, traditional, I suppose, probably more noted for my lifelong friendships forged as opposed to any specific achievement. Even just judging by my own two kids, I don't think much has changed since I was back in school. I haven't been to college, which is probably one of the reasons, and another reason why I'm doing this course. It's an itch I've wanted to scratch for a couple of years, but just even looking at my own two sons' schooling, I don't think much has changed since I was back. I think there's too much emphasis on the personality of teachers as opposed to the content that's being taught. A lot of it, I certainly found a lot of the stuff that we were being force-fed, I couldn't relate to. I had no bearing, I had no resemblance, I had no to what was happening in the real world. I found it very hard to, I suppose, to put it in context, and that's still a problem today. Hopefully the reform of the junior cert curriculum will change that and help bring in some, I suppose, of the other skills and personalities that students have that goes greatly unrecognised. As for the teaching course, I'm hoping to focus on my dissertation, which, as I mentioned in the induction day, is going to be the use and influence of social media during the general election. There's been a small bit of work done in the whole area in Ireland, not a huge amount. I followed closely what was going on in Britain and in America, and they produced some very interesting and usable research, and I'm kind of hoping to apply that here in an Irish context. I suppose the idea is nothing, it's may not be new in itself, but I'm kind of hoping to bring something new to it. Obviously the whole element of mining and gathering information on Twitter will play one part, but then I suppose on the flip side, it's the kind of marrying of traditional kind of journalistic methods with new methods in how you analyse, how you parse that information, how you display that information will be quite interesting, as will the kind of whole area of trust in terms of can you generate verifiable information, and ask the kind of basic questions. Is there such a thing as digital doorstep? Can you actually replace some of the physical interactions that politicians actually have? Can you influence somebody's vote on social media? Does Twitter actually give you an insight into what's going on? Does it help you actually read society's mind, if that doesn't sound a bit too corny? And can it gauge, or does it give you some foresight into how people are going to vote? So you can take, I suppose, a body of work during the whole month of the election, and then do some kind of traditional add-ons, some face-to-face interviews, some video, some audio, maybe some extra additional polling, and then talking to recognised experts in terms of their view to put together, I think, what should be a substantial piece of work that works both as an academic paper, but also will hopefully be an interactive archive. It will not just be text. I'm hoping to integrate video, photographs, as I mentioned, graphics, feeding in live tweets. So it becomes hopefully an interactive archive that will not just kind of tick the academic box, but certainly and hopefully kind of leave a workable piece of analysis there that people can actually use when the whole issue comes up in future debates. And I think there's an interesting class in that, in terms of, I suppose, the class looks at how you start that process and how each element plays a part. And it also kind of teases out a lot of the issues that I have in the back of my head in terms of the practicality side of it, I suppose verifying the information so that it can be used as a reliable source of information and analysis. Some very interesting stuff was done by the University of Sussex. They have a data analysis unit there, which is something I think that the Digital Cultures course in UCC could progress onto. They did some very good work during the British election, where they I suppose designed their own algorithms, and they used that to conduct their own analysis of Twitter during the month-long campaign in Britain, and then began to produce some independent analysis of the week-to-week, and then an overview at the very end, which was used by the British press. And in a way, there is a role for UCC in that, and there's a role for the college in that you have an independent body who's producing reliable data, very relevant data that can be used for analysis to inform public debate, public opinion. So again, I think there's opportunities there. I hope that all makes sense. I'm just going to check my notes to see I haven't forgotten anything, and if not, that's enough about me, and I look forward to learning more about you. Thanks.